Hello everybody. Today I am back on the former Perkiomenville Railroad again. Yeah, I know I've said in just about the past few videos that the next video is going to be something different. Not going to be on the Perk Railroad, or maybe not even railroad related, just something historic. But once again, I'm back on the Perkiomen. But I did ask a question on my channel the other day, and I don't think anybody's tired of the Perkiomen, so I'm never going to get tired of it. So as long as you guys want to see it, I'll keep posting more. So today I am in Perkiomenville, site of the former Perkiomenville station, which is located right along 29 and at the site of the current day and former and current, I don't know, it's been around 60-70 years, maybe more, Perkiomenville Sales. Only open on Mondays, so to all you folks who don't work Mondays, it's good for you. So the railroad first came through here in 1872. Well, I should say it was completed in 1872 and ran complete through here in 1873. Was when the railroad first came through here. It was 1873, just before it went into Green Lane. We followed the tracks, which I'll get into in a minute, which went right through here. Green Lane stations, maybe give or take a mile, maybe a little less than a mile up 29. So, like I said, man, everywhere I go, there's sun and glare. So, you have to excuse me here. I'm going to try to get a shadow here to show you the picture. So, like I said, the line was completed and first ran through here in 1873. And in the same year, the first station was built. This small wooden station, not much more than a whistle stop, was built in 1873. So that's the first station. And a lot of people don't realize this, but Perkiomenville was actually quite a very busy hub. A lot of freight and traffic. So that in 1909, they tore down the wood station and they built a brick station, which was common for the era. Larger stations were brick. A few years later, they built like the one in Springmount, was almost the same looking station as this, same style station as the second Springmount station. The second Springmount station was also built, just like the Perkiomenville station here, was built because to accommodate more people and more traffic. So this was the second station. This survived until the 1950s. I'm not sure if it was around during the last passenger train in 1955 or not, but this station basically survived until the 1950s, mid to early 50s, 1950s. Then it was torn down. So like I said, one second here. So like I said, this is the site of the Perkiomenville sale, and it still exists today. I have not been here in a long time. Drive by quite a bit, but I have not been to the actual sale in forever. I couldn't tell you last time I was actually at the sale. Did have a little bit of history with it though. When I was 18, I came up here with I think it was my mom and my grandparents, and for my 18th birthday, oh, hold on, we're over here. My grandparents bought me this ring. Silver and black onyx ring. The ring's a little beat up and the onyx is chipped all to hell. But I got this ring right up there in that building on my 18th birthday. And I have had it on, I've had this ring on every day ever since. Take it off once in a while to clean it and play with it, but still, I've had this ring ever since, and it came from right up there. I'm not going to say how old I am, but 18 years ago, it was more than 18 years ago. Yeah. So, like I said, if you come up this way, I'm going to try to, once again, risk my life for content. That's what they call it now, content. I love it. So if you walk out of here, you can see right along the road here. You can see, I don't know how many people that come through here know this, but right down there's the Green Lane Park. And right here, I don't know how many of you guys ever noticed it, but you'll probably notice it now when you come down here past Perkiomenville Sales. Right there, through the trees is the right-of-way. Right here is the Perk Railroad, which was finally completed in 1873. And like I said, you can see through here, it came down. You kind of see where the right-of-way flattened out. I hope it's working because I got a terrible glare from the sun here. But through those trees right there. And then it went down along 29, went up a hill. Believe it or not, up in that hill there's a small quarry. I met the owner of it once, and he invited me to come up and look at it. I wrote down his name and number, and I stuck it in a folder or a book at one of our talks, and well, I don't know whatever happened to it. But if you're listening to this and you own that little quarry right up here, let me know. I'd love to come up and check it out. See, here you can see a little bit better. You can see the right-of-way. This is the Perk Railroad. There's a nice little cross drain, which I've never noticed before. Look at that. There's a cross drain. Looks to be somewhat original. I would assume it was built during the, maybe not the original, but it was built during the railroad days. So it went up, went around through the dam, crossed over the creek into the Green Lane station. And then the right-of-way came through here. I don't see any remnants. I thought I saw a couple ties laying in here, which wouldn't surprise me. Don't see any. I thought I saw a tie. Maybe not. So there's the right-of-way. Came through here. Oh, that could be. Yeah, that looks like a telephone pole. Where's that a tie? Now I think there's a couple ties, remnants, laying through here. And then it came through. Wow, look at that trailer. Kmart. Kmart trailer. What's it say? The Saving Place, Kmart. Oh boy, there's history for you. You like history? There's history. But anyway, there are some remnants of some ties. And then the line came right next to the Kmart trailer. Came in through here. This is the front parking lot of Perkiomenville Sales. I don't know how many people knew the station was right here, or the line came through here. I always take it for granted that people who live in the area always knew where all the stations were. Like I said, a lot of times during our talks, I'll talk about Red Hill Station. I grew up in Red Hill and still live in Red Hill. And a lot of people have no clue the Red Hill Station was on 6th Street. It's amazing. Take it for granted. So the line came through there, came over, came right in through here. Oh, I should mention this part of the line, it's kind of up to discrepancy as to when this part of the line was actually pulled out. It was taken out of service around the same time the line from Crusher Road down was, after Agnes. Some reports say the track was taken out in 75, although on our track chart it shows the track was only taken out down to Crusher Road. But if you know the Crusher Road trailhead is just over through those trees. So the track from Green Lane to Pennsburg was taken out in 1980. Unless it came out between 75 and 80, I think this part of the line here was still in during 1980. Or was taken out during 80, but it was taken out of service after Agnes, along with the rest of the line from here all the way down to just outside of Schwanksville. In that area, it was taken out of service, and then from basically, I'd say Spring Mountain area down to Crusher Road here in 75, the track was out, and then 1980 from Green Lane to 8th Street in Pennsburg, which that'll be another video for another time, 8th Street in Pennsburg, the track was taken out. And I would assume this track was probably done in 80, because according to our track charts, it shows the track being taken out only down to Crusher Road in 75. So the track came through here, and right behind here, now that sign there, right through those trees, that is where the right-of-way went, and went over top of the road. There's a little bridge that went over top of the road. You can still see it still has the fence there. I wanted to go back there and walk around. I was trying to get a hold of the property owners, but I don't trespass, and as you can see, that sign says private property. So it's posted, so I'm not going back there. But anyway, so the line went through there, came up, so this would have been the line. Now the station, from what I was told, the station was between the road and the track. So the tracks came up through here, and of course there's the road. So by judging by the slight curvature in some of the old pictures I've seen, and to go from there to where the track went through, where that driveway is now was actually the line. To go through there would have to have a slight curvature. So I would have to estimate the station probably sat right in here somewhere. Both stations, they were both at the same spot. One was, they just moved it one on each side of the semaphore pole. So I would assume the station probably sat in here. Now I don't really see any type of remnants. Something tells me probably, well, if that was the track, and it was between 29 and the rail, it would have to have been right in here. Right in here's where it would have sat. Now, like I said, this thing has been the Perkiomenville sale for so long, and it's had so much stuff going on in here. It's just hard to tell if any of this remnants would have been. Like, here's blacktop. But this has been part of like the driveway or something around the station. The blacktop that would have been around the foundation of the second station. Don't know. It's hard to tell. So, like I said, you can see where the line went up that way, and then if you know the area, right up there is Crusher Road. And then it went down, went down that way, which is now the Perkiomen Trail. I really wish I could have got a hold of the owners. I really wanted to walk behind that building and go down that part of the right-of-way. But, like I said, I don't trespass, and it's even posted. So, yeah, I'm definitely not going back there. But I do have something else of some interest pertaining to the Perkiomenville station. Get my tablet out. It's situated here. So here's another picture of the Perkiomenville station. There you can see a young railroader standing at the station. Looks like he's getting ready to go to work. He looks kind of clean, so I'm assuming he's probably getting ready to go to work. Interesting that he has a posed picture like that, and he has this lantern which looks pretty new, has his bag. So our one board member, Jeff Littlefield from the Historical Society, found this photo on eBay or something and bought it for us, so we own it. And we posted it on our page to try to find out some information about it. To me, that would look like what would have been more of a freight conductor back in the 20s or 30s. Like, you ever see Emperor of the North? He's dressed kind of like that in that time frame. So now we shared it. We actually shared the photo again a little whiles later, and after some research, one of our viewers commented and said, that looks like one of the Bardmans from Green Lane. Well, I don't know. I'm from the area my whole life, but I don't know the Bardmans. If anybody on here watching this knows, let me know. So someone did some research on our page and found this. Ralph Bardman, 86, of Walnut Street, Green Lane, died May 27th of Frederick Mennonite Community, Montgomery County. He was the husband of the late Fern Gerhardt. I got some Gerhardts in my family, I think. Bardman. He was a signal maintainer for Reading Company for 37 years before retiring in 1935. So if you do the math, that's Ralph Bardman. That right there, according to research and some of our people on our Facebook page, that is Ralph Bardman. He died at 86. Wait, where's the date? I don't see the date on here. I think he died in 2001. Okay. But anyway, so he was a signal maintainer for 37 years, retiring at 75. So you do the math. Hopefully I'm right here. If not, I'll be corrected very quickly, I'm sure. That would take that picture to about 1938. We could just assume that photo was taken probably on his first day at work, or one of his first days at work. I mean, photos weren't all that popular as they are nowadays. Back in the 30s, they weren't like nowadays with your smartphones and everything else. Just taking 100 pictures a day and everything that happens. So it was a little different back then. So, like I said, we could just assume that might have been his first day at work. So it's kind of neat finding history from these old photos when we find them. And yeah, so I figured I would do, since this topic's come up and a couple Perkiomenville pictures have came up. Another interesting story, if you go on YouTube and you look up Perkiomenville Station, there's a video, well, it wasn't a video, it's filmed on an old Super 8 camera. It's on YouTube, and it shows this, I think it was in the late 1950s, it shows some footage. And it actually shows the Perkiomenville station sign, which was up on posts. And that wasn't uncommon. What they would do a lot of times, if the line was still being active, still used, and I guess for mile marker designation or something, if a station was torn down, they would take the station sign. There's one up in Zionsville. We got a photo of a Zionsville station sign. What they would do is they would take the station sign and they would put it on two poles where the station once was. Now I'm going to go, and I should have watched it again before I did this, but I'm going to go watch it later, and I'm going to see where the station sign was. And I'm pretty sure in the video it's right in this area. They also show Chief Halftown. It was before my time, but back in the 50s and 60s, Chief Halftown was one of like a local children's Saturday morning characters, like Captain Kangaroo and Captain Noah and all this. So Chief Halftown, I think he was on Channel 6. Well, there's video of him with his headdress and everything here at Perkiomenville Sales. I think he had a stand here he would help out at, or he would come visit. So anyway, I figured that'd be pretty interesting. So go on YouTube and type in Perkiomenville Sales Vintage or 1950s, and you'll actually see the Perkiomenville station sign on the post. Where it went after that, we don't know. If anybody actually has info on the Perkiomenville station sign, that's one of my big interests. I love station signs. One of these days it's my goal to own one. Although we do know of probably 7 of them that still exist, 7 or 8, except they're quite what's it called? Occupied. I don't think they're going anywhere. I don't think anybody's going to let them go. Actually, we go down to Green Lane to the Goshawken Historians at Redman's Hall down in Green Lane. They have the Hosensack and they have the Green Lane Station sign in their display, which is pretty cool. We also know where the Palm sign is. We know where the Gradersford sign is. We know where... Oh, I'm trying to think now. I'm drawing a blank. There's several that are located at East Greenville. People who in Pennsburg Station, Dampmans, they still have the Pennsburg sign. And yeah, there's several we know that exist. We just don't own any. Pennsylvania Live Steamers has the Ron sign. All right, well, I don't like to go too much more than 20 some minutes to half hour at the most. We're at like 21 minutes here. So just real quick to dispel a rumor. A lot of people think the way these buildings were lined up back here at Perkiomenville Sale, that was because of the track, because of the line. Unless one of those old buildings was set up there because of like a siding for something maybe, but the actual main line and the station, none of those were the station, and that's not where the station's at. Like I said, you look between those trees right there, where that driveway is, that's the right-of-way. So that wasn't all that close to those buildings. So the right-of-way was way up here. Unless one of them buildings happened to have been there, there were a couple of grain and feed sidings in Perkiomenville. There's like, I think 5 total sidings in this area. So unless there's a siding up there to those buildings, those were not for the railroad. So anyway, thank you for checking this out. See you next time. See ya.